Hi, this is Rich. We're starting a new day for One Man's Treasure. We're loading probably about 15 to 20 sets of clothes for men that are ex-offenders coming out of prison. And most of these men have been in faith-based programs and have accepted Christ as their Savior. And so we're happy to serve them with a really nice set of clothes. And the clothes consist of some casual clothes and some nice clothes for them to interview and get a job in. So this is our van, and we're loading it up for today's delivery.
My name's Angel, and I've been with One Man's Treasure for 10 years, 5 years as a volunteer, and now 5 years part-time employed. And I'm the clothing and volunteer coordinator. What that means is I kind of manage how the clothing is brought in here and how it's sorted and how it's set up and tagged. But I also pull together sets of clothes for our clients. And it's a joy to be able to do something that's providing a service to others. And we're just so grateful for all the donations that we receive, because we wouldn't be able to do that without all the help of all our volunteers and the donations. So our clients are definitely blessed by this service.
This is Rich again, and we have just pulled up to one of our clients. It's one of the transition houses that we support. They also spend time in prison with the men before they get out, and they work on helping the men start their own business when they get out of and start a new life. So we're here to deliver some clothes, and we have Chris and David here to accept them for the man that they're going to be giving them to.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our series, Love Thy Neighbor. Today I'm with Annette Jenkins. She is the Executive Director of One Man's Treasure. This is a group that we support, and we have supported for a long time, and we absolutely love your organization and the things you do. We have talked a little bit about it at the church, and when I make an announcement that we need clothes, etc., what it's for. But I would like to know, and I know everyone would like to know, a little bit more about your organization. So thank you very much for accepting my invitation. And it's great to be with you today.
Well, thank you for coming to see One Man's Treasure and for the support that the church has given us over the years. It's really been a tremendous help to us in our day-to-day operations. One Man's Treasure was actually founded 15 years ago here in Rockwall, and it was founded by a lady who was a Kairos prison ministry volunteer at one of the men's units here. And in her experience there, she learned of the real need that men have when they're released from prison. And something as basic as clothes. They walk out of the prison with $100, a shirt and pair of pants that may or may not fit, and a bus ticket, and return to the community oftentimes without any other kind of support. Mm-hmm. And so it was that need that Mary Carter, who was the founder, saw and decided the basic thing that we could do for them is to give them clothes that they could wear to go out and try to get a job, to change the direction of their lives. And so she started One Man's Treasure here in Rockwall, out of a storage shed, and
Wow.
collected clothes. And the first year clothed about 90 men. And now we're clothing about 1,500 a year. And since it was founded, we've clothed over 12,000.
12,000 men.
12,000 men.
That is absolutely incredible. I didn't know it was that high. What I love about this organization, and it's a biblical or gospel message that I think about over and over, is when Jesus said, "When I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in prison, you came to visit me." And I think that sums up exactly what you're doing, because I think you came to visit me in prison in Jesus's day meant that your family or friends came and brought you food, brought you clothes, brought you water, because the prison system at that time did not supply that very often. And so looking at it through the disciples and what they would have heard through that message of Jesus is that you came to me and you took care of all of these needs, because the feeding, the clothing, giving water, healing, and visiting are all the same thing that you would do in prison for someone. And you're living that. I think that's absolutely incredible. And that many men. I also think what's beautiful about it is, Jesus tells us not to judge. And I think that in our prison system, unfortunately, we do judge at times. And sometimes you have to, but a lot of times you don't. And when somebody pays their dues, they pay their time for what they have done, a second chance should be given. A lot of times people, as you already know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, go to prison because of the circumstances that have been around them for a long time. And for somebody to actually be the hands of Christ and give them clothes is telling somebody, I love you. I think it's telling them we care. And it's also giving somebody hope, a hope to a new beginning. And that's what I see you doing. So I would like to ask you the next question. Doing something like this, which is absolutely incredible, how did you get started?
Personally, I got started through Kairos Prison Ministry. I'm personally a member of St. James on the Lake Episcopal Church in Kemp.
Wonderful.
We live down at the lake.
Uh-huh.
And the rector there, when we moved down there, kept bugging us about doing prison ministry. And I will always remember how many times I told him, why would I want to do that? Because it was just beyond my comprehension. And he talked me into going to a closing service for Kairos Sunday. And I saw firsthand these men who were incarcerated, who had made the decision that they wanted to change their life. They had found Christ in that chapel at the prison. And my husband and I have been doing that for 14 years. And so when Mary Porter approached me and told me about this ministry, I said, okay. And she kind of roped me in slowly as a volunteer, doing different projects, and then asked me if I would take over as director. And for me, it is daily seeing the changes and seeing that little bit of help, the difference it can make for a man. It's interesting because the notes that we get from these men after they've received their clothes, they often will call or send us a note. And it's always, thank you for the clothes and thank you for caring.
Wow.
And to me, that is important. And the neat thing about it is it's not just a handout of clothes, but it's a ministry for people like Gary and others at Holy Trinity who serve as shepherds to deliver the clothes to the men. And
Absolutely.
with that action, they are demonstrating that God loves them, that God is with them, and we care about them.
Don't you just love how God can give us a path that we cannot see? And something, a place you may not even know you were going to be on. Maybe you did or thought about it, but how God can take us on a path that is just totally before us and we don't even know it until we look back and see where God on those stepping stones have been through our life. You know, I can remember when I got out of college and got a couple of brand new suits, you know, and I was so excited, and that just gave me pride. It also, gave me the self-confidence to go in because I felt good. And look at, do you see the same thing in these men who are looking for new jobs?
Absolutely. Because what they are given at the prison when they walk out, literally they pick a shirt and a pair of pants out of a box at the gate. And it may or may not fit.
Right.
And they are frightened. They are overwhelmed when they come out. And a lot of them are returning to families who cannot help them at all. And a set of decent clothes and can just lift up that self-esteem and their sense of pride. I remember one time Father Victor Hunter, who's a retired Episcopal priest, who serves as a shepherd for us for years. Father Victor's famous story to me was about going to deliver a set of clothes, and the man was so excited to get them, he wanted to go try them on. And he said when he got there, the man was kind of dejected and down, and you could just see his countenance was frightened. And he said he went in to try on the clothes, and he came out, and it was a really nice blue dress shirt, and the pants fit. And Victor said his whole countenance had changed.
Exactly.
He said he was just glowing and smiling, and he was so impressed and just felt good that he had something decent to wear. And so what it does, our purpose is that set of clothes and that confidence he will have when he goes to apply for a job, which is for him is going to be a challenge anyway because of this criminal record he's got.
Mm-hmm.
He can overcome the fact that he has these other challenges. He feels and looks just like everybody else.
Exactly. And the confidence.
Right?
The confidence. And I think that's something we all can share. You know, like I said, when a new job, et cetera, or you buy this new suit, you have this confidence that you didn't have, or at least a heightened confidence in what you're doing. And that is just absolutely fantastic. And I love to hear these stories, but I would like to ask you, what is one of your favorites?
I see so many. I have two.
Okay.
One is, for me, is to see how God on a daily basis provides what one man's treasure needs for every man that calls. And sometimes we have men who have unique sizes and things that we don't have. I have what I call a bathrobe story. Can I share that with you?
Sure.
We
You can always
normally
edit it later. No, just kidding.
we normally don't give out bathrobes or pajamas or anything like that in the clothes, because what we give are clothes that they can wear every day or for a job interview. But we had a man who had been incarcerated for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
He was 72 years old. He was released from prison, and went to one of the transition houses that we partner with. We clothe all their men. And he called up to make an application. He talked to Sheree and he said, I don't need a lot of clothes. He said, I know y'all give all these wonderful clothes. I don't need that. He said, what I'd like to have would be a suit and a dress shirt that I can wear to church, a pair of cowboy boots to go with the suit, and a bathrobe. And so this application, he called Sheree in the morning. Well, unbeknownst to me about that phone call, that day I went to pick up a clothing donation from a lady whose husband had passed away. And I'm loading these clothes into my car, and I look in a bag, and there was a bathrobe.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, now what are we going to do with this bathrobe? We don't give out bathrobes. And I drove over here to the clothes closet and walked in, and I said, how's everything going? And I think it was either Cherie or Angel said, it's going fine, but we have this man, and he's 72 years old, and he doesn't want much, but he wants a bathrobe, and we don't have bathrobes. And I said, guess what's in my car?
Wow.
I could tell you stories, story after story, about how God provides these unique needs that we have at the time we need it. That's one of my favorites. The beauty of it is, after he got his set of clothes, he called up here crying and said, thank you for the bathrobe.
It doesn't make it all worthwhile.
It really does. I mean, it's that combination of knowing that this man who had nothing, we were able to meet this one need that he had. And then as far as successes, we have so many. There's one for me personally that was special because it was a man that my husband and I knew at Vito Prison. He had gone through Kairos, and we had for 10 years mentored him in prison. And he had a 99-year sentence and thought he would never get out. And his whole life changed, and he was granted parole. And he came out, and my husband served as a shepherd, because he is a shepherd, delivered his clothes to him. And he was in that and prayed with him and visited with him. And he was looking for a job. And he got a job. And then 2 days later, he calls us and says, I got a better opportunity to go to work in Del Monte cutting fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But I need boots, rubber boots, and a hoodie, because I'm going to be in all that chill space. So we were able to provide that to him so that he could start work the very next day. And he was able to move up in the company to better positions.
Wow.
And those are the things. They're simple, but it's that first start, that first job that they can get. We always encourage them, the best way to get a job is to have a job. Mm-hmm. So if you're offered a job, maybe make a minimum wage, that's your start.
Absolutely. And, the truth is, if we're all honest, somebody along the line helped us, here or there, a mentor, a great teacher, minister, or, just that neighbor or somebody who gives us either the confidence or education or something that helps us change our lives. And so I love that. So here we are talking about clothes, something that we go out and buy all the time and don't really think about buying a shirt. And yet this can change lives. And I think that is absolutely beautiful.
One of the really great things for us is that of all the shepherds, these male volunteers who deliver clothes for us, we have probably about 80 or so. A third of them were formerly incarcerated themselves.
Mhm.
And a lot of those were men who we helped, who got on their feet again and called and said, now I want to help myself. Can I be a shepherd? And
That's
to me, that
incredible.
speaks so much as to what the heart is of these men who appreciate what they received.
To just and it's something that we're talking about in one of my sermons is coming up. It is Jesus puts his hand on us, that saving grace hand on us, and he calls his disciples to reach out to others and do the same. In other words, be the feet and hands of Christ in this world. And to hear people who have received this incredible opportunity that you provide, and I hope you're very proud of that. You're doing such great work, and I hope you know that. But to receive that and turn around and then want to later help, because they see how it's taken care of their lives, how it's uplifted their lives, to be so excited about God's ministry, seeing that through you or one of your staff, or volunteers that help, to be so excited about that ministry that now I want to do ministry and help others. That is a success story.
That is God at work.
Yes, it is. Bingo. So,
And that's what this whole ministry is.
Yes,
There's no
it is.
doubt about it.
You have an absolutely God-given ministry here, and everything you're telling us, I hope y'all have seen, God is at work. So, Annette, I want to thank you so much for this interview. I've really enjoyed it, and I really have enjoyed meeting you and hearing what you're going to do. And I'm going to ask if we can get a tour of your place.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Come on, let's go see
The show.
what's going on.
The package that would be sent to someone, as you can see.
And
Which
you
is
can
fantastic.
see the quality.
Yes. Wow.
On the back of this card, there's a tag that has the client's name and address and phone number for the shepherd to call. And on the back is a prayer that,
Oh,
that
wonderful.
we pray over the clothes when we put it together. And the shepherd, if he doesn't feel comfortable making up a prayer,
Right.
he can use this one to pray with the man.
That's really special. I love that.
We had one of the clients who said he held on to his card, this tag with the prayer on it, and he wore it every day in the pocket of his shirt so he would remember
Wow.
that he was being prayed for.
Wow. Wow. Incredible.
This is
Wow.
the tie rack,
Yes.
all color coordinated, so we do ask them when they call and we're getting their sizes, we ask them if they have a favorite color. And if they do, then we try to at least give them one or two shirts that are in that color and coordinated that way. There again, they feel like they're having some say-so in what they're
Mhm.
getting. We'll give out 700 to 800 coats every winter. There again, we never know what size. 2X's, 3X's are the hardest ones for us to get, and the 2X is the most common. So that we make a real special push. And then I'm just showing you this. Like at the end of the season, Walmart will put coats on sale and half price or whatever. So we try to go in and buy for the coming winter. There again, some of the funds we get enable us to be able to purchase those.
Okay.
And I know it looks like a lot of shirts, but to put it into context, each man gets 5 shirts. So if you do 1,500 men a year, that's 7,500 shirts.
Right.
And you never know what sizes they're going to be.
Right.
I hate to show you this room because you're going to think we don't need shoes, but we just got in a massive donation of shoes. But this is the shoe room, and we need tennis shoes, we need dress shoes, and work boots.
Okay.
Some of the men have an opportunity to get a job like in construction or warehousing, so they will request a pair of work boots. And if we have those, then we are able to send it out. We do these little subtle messages of faith. But like here, we had we have a message from the chaplain at the parole office.
Mm-hmm.
We have volunteers who make these little Bible verse cards with an encouraging message on it. We put this in the shoe, so the first time they go to put the shoes on,
Right.
there's a Bible verse. And we had one volunteer, a supporter of ours, who writes prayers, and she and her husband, she wrote this prayer, and she and her husband printed it up, and we include one of these on there too,
Okay.
so that they continue to get a very subtle message that
Right.
God loves you.
That is fantastic. Hey everybody, I'm here with Gary Dahl. As you know, is a parishioner at Holy Trinity by the Lake and head of Brotherhood of St. Andrews right now, which is absolutely fantastic, and you guys are doing a great job. Gary has been working with the Brotherhood and the Holy Trinity by the Lake for One Man's Treasure, and has been an advocate for them for how long?
Well, since we've been involved, the chapter's been involved for about 6-7 years in donations. So as director this year, I inherited the responsibility, which I expanded a little bit from what we've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, support has been, the Brotherhood of St. Andrew with our tenets are prayer, study, and service. Our service in the past has typically been monetary service and not volunteer service. So we've started to do different things this year since I've been director to push more towards volunteer and service. And so we've been shepherding clothes for One Man's Treasure. John Curtis, Lee Humer, and I have gone out and delivered clothes to recently released incarcerated men. And it's been a terrific experience.
Wow, I did not realize that you guys were actually going out and delivering the clothes to the different people.
Yes.
That's actually fantastic.
Yeah.
So what made you and or the group itself decide on One Man's Treasure?
Well, I think it was one of the tenets of the National Brotherhood, which is restorative justice amongst 6 other tenets. And this was a function that we saw that was an important one that was local. So that's how the Brotherhood got involved.
So let me ask you a question I ask a lot of people. What has been your highlight or a story that may have just grabbed your heart in doing this ministry?
Well, I think the volunteers and the change from just writing a check to getting out there and servicing has been really probably the most important for us. And what we've done is add to all the things that One Man's Treasure has done in terms of adding biblical passages and such. When I talked to Annette and asked if when we go out and deliver that we could give them a copy of the New Testament, which is
Okay.
donated by us to them, and we talk about church, and it's been very eye-opening for me to see the response of the brothers that typically we're comfortable writing checks, and now they're out there doing it, and all of them coming back and saying what a moving experience it's been for them personally to give clothes and pray with the men. And you get very different responses. Some men will just meet at the door, and the door will open, a hand will come out, and you hand it to. That's pretty much all their involvement. Others want to talk. They want to talk about church. They want to talk about Christ. They want to talk about things. And sometimes they have pit bulls with them, and you get a little nervous about those. But it's been a great change for us in the brotherhood.
That's absolutely wonderful. It is one of the things that we're moving forward, as you know, at Holy Trinity, by the way, of more volunteers, more hands and feet in our community. One of the reasons I like to see that is because of what you're talking about is the experience that you end up receiving. It's been my case for many years that I always seem to receive more than I ever have given. And seeing the person who is in tears, or seeing the person whose life has changed, or seeing the person who was about to end their life and they decided, no, there's hope. Seeing someone who thinks somebody cares, and it changes the track in their lives, something we may think is small. And then after listening to their testimony at you about what it means, you take home forever. And so that's why I think it's so important to be hands and feet and volunteer in our community, because you come face to face with the people that you're helping. And I'm so proud of Brotherhood. I've always been very proud of Brotherhood of St. Andrews, but I'm so proud that you guys are doing that, and watch that effect of people's hearts as they see this happening, because then you're ready to do it again and again when you see this. I think that's absolutely fantastic that you guys are taking the clothes physically to the different men and sharing scripture with them, talking to them about God, letting them know that God loves them. That is absolutely fantastic to do.
Yeah, the experience is fun when the men actually receive. You saw the collection of clothes and shoes. A lot of them, they can't believe it. They say, this is all from me. It's a real surprise for me. But you can tell that sense of, wow, somebody does care.
Mm-hmm.
And these men came out and brought me this. And there was one delivery I remember that the man wanted cowboy boots. And he couldn't keep his eyes off the cowboy boots. He just kept looking and going, he was so happy to have a pair. It was terrific. Terrific experience to give. You get much more than what we've had in the past, just writing check. That's important too.
Yes, it is.
And I wanted the brothers to be able to come here to the facility and volunteer more. But of course, we've had to change our lives around COVID, but at least getting out when we had the chance to do the deliveries in person prior to COVID, it was a very moving experience.
Well, Gary, I understand you and the group, the brothers, are going to have a drive coming up at the end of the month. And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
The last Sunday in August, the 29th. Say again. Saturday, 29th. I got the date right. Thank you. And we will be having a collection. I believe the hours will be from 11 to 1. And we can give out more details about specifically what we need for. Because there are certain sizes of things that one man's treasure is short of. And particularly if we could do some things, and we don't talk about this time of year, but get ready for winter clothing and coats, overcoats, things like that, which are very well received.
Absolutely. And again, if people want to give monetary donations, I mean, that's absolutely fantastic, because as we heard earlier, there's some things that they just need to purchase.
Yes.
And not have, like underwear, socks, and
T-shirts.
T-shirts. So that's extremely important. And so I hope that people have heard Gary today and hear what the Brotherhood is doing, and that you'll start going into your closet and looking for the things that you can separate with. I know that I am. I'm very excited about being here today and seeing what's going on and be there on that delivery day to give to you guys so that you can bring to One Man Treasure, and then it can be delivered out to so many people. It's absolutely fantastic. Any other words you want to say before you go, or?
No, I think our experience with One Man's Treasure, and of course we've supported the gala every year too, which unfortunately I think we're going to have to postpone this year. But we've always filled the whole table and donated that way as well. So we've been the brothers have been very supportive, and it's a terrific, wonderful opportunity for us and a great service for the community.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really proud of your leadership. I'm very proud of the Brotherhood of St. Andrews. I am very proud that we are walking to be, again, the hands and feet of Christ. We have, as you know, Holy Trinity has been a very generous church. The people are absolutely incredible, and we could not do this without you. And so I hope that this will continue. So please, again, if you could go into your closet, find the things that you could part with, and give somebody a second chance in life. It's so important, and to give them hope and love in this world. For some of them, they've never received this before. And it's amazing to us, something that we, purchase every day is something so different to them. Like I've said, sandwiches are just a sandwich to us, but that's life for another day to somebody else. This is giving hope to someone as well. So please help the Brotherhood of St. Andrews in their clothes drive at the end of this month, as well as if you're interested in the Brotherhood of St. Andrews, please call Gary. He'll be glad to get you connected, and you could be helping with organizations like this and other organizations that they help with. Gary, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming here and talking with me today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, blessings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we will see you guys at our next interview. I hope that you're enjoying the series so far, and we love you very much, and blessings to you too.
Hi, my name is Joey. I've been out for about 100 days now out of a TDC, Texas Department of Corrections. It's been a rough road all my life. I came from good parents, good standing, suburbs, middle class family. I chose to go to the streets at an early age. I started hanging around with gangs, doing drugs, just living on the wrong side of life. That led me to prison, to where I thought that's a person of my stature was supposed to be doing, and I actually rose to the ranks of actually leading the gang for a long time. I was in and out of prison, went to prison about 5 times, and I knew the Lord but never had a relationship with Him. During this time, I was always commended by my peers for violence and doing acts of violence and running around selling drugs and just basically being lawless. It came to a time when I was on East Ham, this last time that I was down, and about 3 years ago, to where I actually started talking to older gentlemen, and I was tired of the life that I was living. And that night I got onto my knees and said, Lord, if you're real, if you're there, if you want something greater or better for myself, show me something. Well, not even 2 days later, they took me on chain, put me on a bus, and shipped me to a minimum security prison out of that maximum security prison. At that time, I didn't know who to turn to or what to do. I was still connected with my PEP brothers to where they had led me to One Man's Treasure. And through One Man's Treasure, I got on the phone, was kind of skeptical at first, and they welcomed me with open arms, actually checked on me, and they had brought me a stack of new clothes, not even a week later, shoes, dress shirts, everything you could think of, not only to be comfortable in, but to get to that first job interview. And there's something really special in there that I still hold on to this day that I got on me. It was a card that was attached to my clothes, actually, and it said, "We ask your blessing on your child, Jose." May these clothes bring him comfort in the physical need and the peace and hope and the knowledge that you are present with him now and all the days of his life. Amen. Jeremiah 29:11. This is something I hold really dear to my heart, and that keeps with me every day, because they believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and when I needed clothes and comfort, they were there for me. And I do appreciate everything that everyone has done for me, and the Lord showed me that there is a better life out there, not only for me, but where I could be a productive citizen and be a father to my children. I want to thank you for everything you have done, and this is my victory story. Thank you.